Djibouti is a country of barely a million people, just 23,200 square kilometers in size, and yet it hosts more foreign military bases than anywhere else on the planet. The reason is geography is so decisive, it almost explains itself. Sitting at the southern mouth of the Red Sea, alongside the el-Mandeb Strait, Djibouti overlooks a 29-kilometer choke point through which nearly 10% of global trade and a significant share of the world's oil passes en route to the Suez Canal. The United States operates Camp Lemonnier here, its only permanent base in Africa, housing around 4,500 personnel and functioning as a hub for operations across the Horn of Africa and West Asia. France, the former colonial power, maintains a long-standing presence. Japan established its first overseas base in Djibouti in 2011, followed by Italy. China entered the equation in 2017 with a heavily fortified facility, its first overseas military base, positioned precisely at the intersection of the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and the Indian Ocean. India notably has no base in Djibouti. Instead, it relies on access agreements with partner countries, allowing Indian forces to use American, French, and Japanese facilities when required. It is a model that prioritizes flexibility over footprint, access without permanent presence, cooperation without full control. This absence is not due to a lack of strategic ambition. Over the past decade, India has quietly built a network of military and logistical footholds across the Indian Ocean. In Mauritius's Agalega Islands, it has developed an airstrip and jetty, enabling sustained surveillance and presence in the southern Indian Ocean. In Oman, India has secured berthing rights at Duqm and Muscat, alongside a listening post at Ras Al Had, positions that allow it to monitor traffic through the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman. Coastal radar networks across island nations like Seychelles and Mauritius further extend its maritime awareness. It is a coherent and expanding architecture, but one with a conspicuous gap. That gap sits exactly where the Red Sea meets the Gulf of Aden. India's reluctance to establish a base in Djibouti stems from a mix of doctrine and diplomacy. Its strategic culture has traditionally avoided overseas basing, shaped by non-alignment, post-colonial sensitivities, and the political optics of replicating great power behavior. Even where India has built infrastructure, it frames them as logistical facilities rather than bases. Djibouti itself adds another layer of complexity. Its government has effectively turned basing rights into a transactional system, balancing competing powers on its soil. Any Indian base would place New Delhi in close proximity to rivals, including China, whose own installation is designed to monitor activity in the region. A permanent Indian presence would operate under constant observation. Yet recent events have exposed the limitations of staying absent. During heightened tensions in West Asia, when critical sea lanes faced disruption, India had to deploy warships from distant positions and rely on diplomatic coordination to secure passage for its own energy lifelines. Without a forward logistics hub closer to the Red Sea, operations stretched across time, distance, and dependence. A presence in Djibouti would not eliminate these challenges, but it would fundamentally alter the equation. It would reduce response times, sustain deployments, and provide real-time visibility over one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. India has built reach across the Indian Ocean, but at the gateway to that ocean, where global trade converges and great powers are already entrenched, it remains a participant without a seat at the table.